Okay. I am making this announcement in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, Laws of the State of New Jersey. The Borough Clerk has prepared a schedule of the meetings of the governing body of the Borough of Kenilworth for the year 2024. The Borough Clerk has posted a true copy of this schedule on the bulletin board located at the front entrance of Borough Hall, and has mailed true copies of this schedule to the local source, the Star-Ledger, and the Home News Tribune, and is maintaining a copy of this schedule in her office during the year 2024. Accordingly, the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied in regard to this meeting. Please stand for the salute to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Karlovich.
Here.
Councilman Boyle.
Here.
Councilman Finestrella.
Here.
Councilwoman Giordano Paserno. Here. Councilman Morrow.
Here.
Councilman Scarice.
Here.
Councilman Zimmerman.
He's here. I just saw him out in the hallway.
Yeah, he's here.
He's here.
He was in our meeting.
He's here.
Yeah.
Okay, is there a motion to accept and approve the following minutes of the work session of November 1st, 2023, January 17th, 2024, February 21st, 2024, March 6th, 2024, and council meeting February 21st, 2024?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Boyle.
Here. Yes.
Councilman Finestrella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Giordano Paserno. Yes. Councilman Morrow.
Yes.
Councilman Scarice.
Yes.
Councilman Zimmerman.
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to move to the finance report. Councilman Finestrella.
What are you going to do this again because there's no video? Or should we?
Yeah, okay, let me just make a quick announcement, a couple of them. Marco is just had car trouble, and he's running a little bit late, so I'm expecting him very soon, but he did just send me a message. And also, just so everyone knows that this is the first meeting that's combined between work session. Our work session and our regular meeting will be one meeting from now on. So there'll be one salute to the flag, or one Open Public Meetings Act, one part that's open to the public. We won't be repeating reports, and it should be more effective and make more sense. And people won't be confused. What meeting is what meeting? When am I speaking? When am I not speaking? And so there'll be one meeting. We're going to combine them, starting at 6 p.m.
So with that said, the budget's going to be introduced tonight. I just have to have high praise and kudos to CFO Ken and Jill with an outstanding job they did, and keeping it as level as they could. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Department of Public Works, Councilman Boyle.
I don't have a lot. The next cardboard pickup is going to be Tuesday, March 26th. Cans and bottles, April 2nd. Brush pickup every Thursday. The DPW received a check for $1,155 for 38.65 tons of cardboard and paper.
Wow, that's great.
That was just the month of January.
That's great.
And how much would we have spent as opposed to receiving a check for January?
I think with bottles and cans, our total bill for January was like $2,200.
And is that a decrease?
Well, no, if you factor in we get the cardboard, that's your decrease.
Okay, so
Because you've got the positive flow offsetting the negative.
would it be fair to say we would see $3,000 charge in
Probably,
January?
yeah, because of the added weight.
Well, not great.
Thank you for that.
And sorry, thank you too for the parts too. Last 2 days, like everything got done.
Yeah.
I think the
We
basic.
still have some minor issues, there's a couple leaks in each part, but they're very minor. One of them was loose hose, I think it was already fixed, and another one we have to get the outside faucet. Yeah, that's all the kids, it's like camper proof, so the kids don't turn on, leave it on. Yeah, stuff like that, but it's still minor.
We told them Friday for practice to start, but
Yeah.
they've turned on the water, I think, already. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And that's it.
I just have a question. I know this has come up before. How difficult would it be for us to get cameras in the parks? Because the parks,
They're unreliable.
how do we, I mean, they're being vandalized, and kids are throwing their garbage all, I see it on social media all the time. Oh, okay, you were going to go into that? Okay.
Yeah, me and Angela met yesterday and talked about it. Our phones were blowing up for 2 days on between posts, parents, one of the kids' names was mentioned. The parks were absolutely like a disaster. But it's at night, I'm not talking, not on you guys. We just want to try and talk about some ways to try and remedy it between the chief, you.
So there's a couple ways we could do it is, I mean, it's too late now, it would just cost you more money, but you could put in 6-foot fencing that's anti-scaling, chain link. That would slow them down with gates, and then lock it, like have the police lock it once it's dusk, and then we'll open it at dawn. That's one way of doing it, but, I mean, in my opinion, it should have been done that way in the beginning, you know?
Well, I
It's
think
that way,
we're
but there's that.
thinking more things like, we asked the chief to maybe have something at the school, or Picton or somebody, and talk to the kids about taking care of your town. We already started putting together a few groups, like to maybe maintain. We've done it before, where groups of kids would go to the parks at night. And also, if the cops drive by or something, see something, just maybe get out and say, hey guys, can you give me 5 minutes to clean up? We stop and clean up all the time.
Yeah, I mean, cameras only keep honest people honest.
Yeah.
We also, it's also about getting the word out. Pat had mentioned, he had a lot of great ideas. I'll share, we had talked about, I'll share with you and the chief as well. We don't think, but I did have the front sign put out just to remember to clean up after yourselves, don't litter. A sign's not going to change anyone, but it's part of a bigger plan.
Yeah, I mean,
Pat had an
we had
idea, the
issues
rec
with
center doing
parents
walks and
getting
cleanups, those were great
basketball.
ideas.
That happens
Yeah.
at partying all the time. After school, the older kids would get out, come over here, play basketball while the grandparents and stuff were walking by. Just little ideas. I know it's not going to help probably, but maybe 2 more garbage cans in each park. And at least when we're cleaning it up, it'll be closer.
Yeah, we can add more garbage cans. I'm working with the chief, and like I've talked to him about in the past, and I'm gonna work with him in the future. Right now I'm just getting quotes on better cameras. Because the cameras we have right now are very unreliable. I want something that they can access from the police department.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
George,
they can
right?
check on it, you know,
Yeah,
whenever.
yeah.
You know, and with a more sophisticated camera system, you can have cameras that only pick up humans.
I know.
And give you alerts when it only detects a human.
We do have, we do have cameras, and we did change that last year, that they do go to the police now. Now, they're not good, I'm not saying we don't want to upgrade them, but I don't want people to think that they don't. They do,
Right.
and we did make sure the chief has access,
Right.
and they do go to police now,
And I don't know
so.
about the recording, but when you're inside the buildings, they're really clear. They're really, even at night with those lights.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know.
I
if
think
zooming in
chief-
on them or-
Yeah, zooming in, if you have the same exact system in our DPW garage, zooming in, you lose quality.
Yeah.
So.
Right, so that's where it's hard to figure out who it is.
And also the angles are wrong. We had an issue there one time, and, I mean, I don't know the details of the police do. I was just asked, you know, how to get in there.
Yeah.
And there was an issue where they said the angles were wrong, and they couldn't solve it.
Okay.
So,
Do we have a time that this is happening? Is it after dark, or is it in the
At night.
daytime, or?
Well, a lot on Saturdays now.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous on
A lot of the
Saturdays.
teenagers,
I
the,
drove by during the day.
Right.
I saw 200 kids in the park. It was the greatest feeling ever. Then I had to take a ride later, and I saw all the garbage everywhere. I was like, oh.
The result.
Right. You know, maybe something as basic and simple as some signs up, like, please keep your park clean. Park is here for you.
Little things are going to change a lot.
Right, you
mean,
know,
this is-
please put your garbage away, you know, please be mindful of small children and families in the park, so everyone enjoys the park, you know, keep your foul language, you know,
Older kids don't want to leave the playground when a grandmother comes with a 4-year-old kid to go on the swing. You know, they don't get off the swings. And, you know, just whatever we can do.
well, that 16th Street has also gotten a lot of abuse. I don't have to talk to Tony about it, but the material on it.
Right, under the swing.
It's all
Yep.
torn up and fall. And it's not through vandalism, it's through
Wear and tear.
literally from kids dragging their feet as they swing. I can tell just by looking at it.
Mhm.
So we just gotta get that fixed this year, and we'll do that with the recreation grant money.
Great.
Letting you guys know that.
Just on another end, I know, the police department, we have a CAD entry for park checks. I know in the past when they were vandalizing the Mario Park building and stuff like that. Could we do that, chief, increase park checks and do it in the CAD system, and especially at nighttime?
Absolutely, we'll check them, but I think part of the problem, and like Greg was saying, it's not so much the vandalism as people just not cleaning up after. I don't know whether people have kind of just lost all track of, I talked to Pat and Angela about this, and it kind of bugs me that we have to clean up after a bunch of kids that should be able to clean up after themselves.
Right.
Whether we put signs up, we put garbage cans up. And we all went to school together about the same time. And I said this to Pat, we never would have thought about leaving the park like that because some of the older kids I won't mention would be our bus, leaving the parks. We kind of policed ourselves when we were kids. So, we'll definitely check. My guys stop and play basketball with the kids. They get out of the car, they walk through the parks all the time. So, I just think it's more a little personal responsibility here. We got to kind of get the word out to people to take care of them. We worked hard on these parks, give them a nice place to stay. Let's take care of it. That's on everybody, not DPW or whoever. That's on these kids. You bring something in, bring it out. That's it.
Right, right.
And since I've been here, the only vandalism I've seen is hose spigots being left on that aren't tamper-proof, and maybe dirty bathrooms. But I haven't seen
Yeah, it's been good for
physically.
about a year and a half, 2 years.
We're on a good run.
One thing with the sink, there was one before you, but
Yeah.
knock on wood, it
Yeah.
hasn't happened,
It's been a while.
it's been a while, which is a good thing.
And this year, we're looking, with Tony and I, we talked last year, this year we're looking to get the automatic locks on 16th Street bathrooms, because they've worked really well in Tamara, even though it was towards the end of the season. So we can program it to whatever time schedule Parks and Rec wants, or you as a council want, and they'll work automatically, no one has to be there.
That's great.
Yeah, and we can have it, then it also keeps them permanently locked during the winter.
Yeah, and just on that too, I do pass the parks. I know there was a group playing there today, and the kids had school today. So there are kids from out of town that are coming in and playing too. And I did see, one or two people, 16, I don't even know, they could, probably adults if they're not in high school at this point, climbing on the playground stuff too. So, whether it's a DPW or the police driving by or whatever, might be just in our best interest just to say, listen, you're too old for this, whether we put a sign up, 12 years of age or whatever it's going to be, I don't know what the rating is for those little slides and climbing things, but when you got 16-year-old kids on top going nuts, it's not meant for that abuse, so.
Playground manufacturers will make you a sign that'll match the playground if you ask them to. That will say, this is for this age group.
Yeah, I think we need something like that, just to
Tony, I
like,
think Tony can chime in on this one.
So the
Councilwoman.
units all have stickers that are age use stickers, and you can get signs made, they're usually about 18 to 24 inches high by 12 inches wide. But I have found through all the playgrounds we have built that when you engage the community, and specifically I like Pat's idea about bringing it to the schools and having the kids kind of take ownership and police it themselves, but it would be more helpful if there were more trash cans and specifically recycling and trash combination cans around, because if somebody has to go carrying something, they're not going to do it.
It's Harding too, that's why I think the school should be in
Yeah.
there too.
yeah, Harding is a mess.
Bad,
It is a mess.
Bad, every night.
Yeah, but when you engage your community, that's where you're going to get the better outcome. Because even watching it, it's done already. And the older kids on the equipment, they're not going to hurt it. It's commercial grade steel equipment. But, then because I've seen it at Mario, if you have older kids on the swings and your parents there with little kids, they feel funny instead.
Right.
Would you mind getting off the swing so we can put the kids here? So maybe a more friendly verbiage sign that we as a borough can get
for all three parks, saying something like, you know, I don't know, something not as generic as ages, something.
Like park
Right.
rules.
Please be mindful of,
And make it a little
give
bit
everyone
funny,
time
like,
at the
hey,
park.
this is
Everyone,
for so-and-so,
yeah.
whatever.
everyone would like to enjoy the time at the
Yeah.
park.
Yeah,
Please
if
be
the- I think the
mindful
parks close at
of others,
dusk.
like the gym, like
So
gym
technically
equipment.
when it
Yeah,
starts.
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, right, that's still in effect, that the parks close at dusk when it gets dark?
Problem is, the lights are there for the security, but
Right.
they look at it as an invitation to keep playing.
Right, no, I get it.
I think there used to be a sign at the Mario on the old tennis courts that said 9.
Right. And you know what, you don't mind it, because what else are the kids gonna do? They're gonna be, you know, roaming the streets, but if they could just help to maintain it and,
And that they are nicer now, especially 16th Street. There are kids from out of town and young adults that are using it, you know, so it is not just our
You know,
own,
we
so.
lost the basketball court at the Mario, so everyone goes there now.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if there's anything I can do to help, just let me know.
Since we're on the topic of kids, I noticed we don't have a meeting the beginning of next month, so April 13th is opening day for Little League. Chief, you were informed that we need to know what route we're going to take, they're going to take, and mayor and council are invited, and hopefully it's not going to rain.
What's the date again?
Uh,
I'm sorry.
April 13th?
April 13th.
And what time is the parade, do we know yet?
I believe it usually steps off at 1 PM.
Yeah, read at St. Teresa's at 12 usually.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, should
Thank
be a
you.
good time.
Okay, anything else?
Me?
Yep, nope, okay.
I forgot I was still
Thank you, Councilman. Department of Public Safety, Councilman Zimmerman.
Thank you, Mayor. I have Chief Seuss's report. First, I'd like to say congratulations to Chief Seuss. I know he submitted his letter of intent to retire effective July 1st of this year. And I did tell Chief Seuss he does a great job. And when I retired, I did leave our department in great hands, and he's done a great job, and I respect him and appreciate everything he's done. And I wish him the best in his future endeavors and Godspeed. I know it's a little ways off, but just wanted to start off with that.
Thank you, Commissioner, appreciate it.
Yeah.
So Chief Seuss's report, in the first half of March, Kenmore Police Department has seen an uptick in motor vehicle burglaries and thefts again. We've had a half dozen reported incidents which have occurred at different locations in town, including North 19th and 21st Streets, as well as Dorset Drive and North Michigan Avenue. Residents are reminded to lock their vehicles even if they are parked in their driveways, as actors are going up and down streets and entering any vehicle they can get into. Unknown actors also attempted to steal a Cadillac Escalade from North Michigan Avenue on Sunday, the 17th, but were unable to access the vehicle. We have also seen an increase in reported shopliftings at the Acme supermarket, with 3 shoplifting arrests in the first half of March. These are only the reported incidents, as the Acme Loss Prevention will sometimes intervene, and if they've recovered their merchandise, will either not report the incident or choose to not press charges. With the weather getting nicer and more people out walking, Kenilworth is starting more targeted details aimed at enforcing motor vehicles to stop for crossing pedestrians. Residents are reminded to only cross the boulevard in crosswalks, and when driving, to please stop for anyone who has entered a crosswalk. Just remember, in New Jersey, it's no longer yield to pedestrians, it's stop for pedestrians in a crosswalk. It does carry points on your license and a hefty fine, so you have to stop, not yield. So when they're in this crosswalk from end to end, you got to be stopped till they get out of the crosswalk. Once they pass in front of you, it's not a permission to just hit the gas and go while they're still out in the middle of the boulevard, teetering on the double yellow line.
On Monday, March 18th, Dominic Riccelli conducted a motor vehicle stop in the area of North Michigan Avenue and Federal Avenue. During a subsequent search of the vehicle, Officer Riccelli recovered a stolen firearm with hollow point ammunition and various amounts of heroin, cocaine, Xanax, and other prescription narcotics. The driver, an East Orange resident, was charged with unlawful possession of a weapon, possession of a stolen firearm, and various other narcotic offenses. The suspect was remanded to the Union County Jail to await detention and hearing. Chief Seuss would like to recognize and commend Officer Riccelli for his diligent police work. This is the 5th time the illegal handgun that Officer Riccelli has recovered in the last year and a half, along with numerous other narcotic arrests. Officer Riccelli has done a phenomenal job since being hired and has been an awesome representation of the Kennewick Police Department and the borough. That's all I have. Is there anything, Chief Seuss, that you need to add to the report?
No, just, like I said, he's got a good nose for a lot of these actors coming from East Orange and everything, from his experience up in East Orange. And in a year and a half to take 5 guns off the road is just work that he's doing pretty good. And it's also evidence to everybody here that this stuff is here. This stuff is in town. You know, everybody thinks it's Elizabeth or it's Plainfield, but these kind of people are going through town all the time. Our flock cameras are going off every day. And we have some good young guys out there who have good noses who are doing this kind of good police work all the time, and I couldn't be any prouder of them. So it's good police work.
Excellent. Yep, thank you.
That's it, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. Planning and zoning, Councilman Morrow.
Thank you, Mayor. Start with planning, where there's not much of substance to report on from the board, other than we're also going to be beginning our reviews of the Onyx property, determining the roles of each, the council and the planning board, in such studies and things that'll have to come out of what's on our agenda for the last couple of weeks. So more to come on that through the official business at both the council and the planning board levels. Other than that, we do have a few applications that have been progressing their ways back and forth through our town professionals and everybody involved. We'll be getting those on the board's calendar soon. Moving on to the building department, I'll start with an announcement to the public, and thank you, Marco, for being here. Our department has been receiving applications for the annual motor vehicle body storage, where we sent out notices in January. I believe I reported on that a couple of months ago. If you sent in an application, our construction official plans on conducting inspections this spring, and you will be hearing back from us accordingly. Important to note here that our code enforcer will be researching any other businesses that have applied for these storage units in the past and have not applied this year, and we'll be going out to inspect and talk to the property owners. So we do urge that the businesses who have storage containers on their property fill out the application in order to avoid any violations or fines. For anyone with a concern or an inquiry, we encourage that you call our department with any questions or download the application for these storage units on our borough website under the building department link, then click on the construction application and forms section of that page, and then submit the application to the department. Okay, and on the zoning front, I didn't report last meeting on February, so I'm going to do that now. We had 18 applications that were filed in February for zoning, all normal stuff, fences, some new businesses, that as those applications get approved, I'll talk more about, and then signs for various businesses in town. So nothing crazy, but great to see all the activity. For March, currently, we're happy to be reporting that we're working with residents as they start to fill out their zoning applications just to beautify their homes. So we have 11 applications thus far in the month of March, and it's only the 20th. These are for new fences, home additions, and gazebos, all great stuff to see going on in town. Now, regarding complaints, I'll start with zoning, where we've seen a couple of illegal apartments in a single-family home. This led to us issuing a notice of violation over the last couple of weeks. We've also had some summonses issued for property owners that were in violation of prior notices and didn't clean up what was needed. So that's all been taken care of. On the code enforcement front, we've currently had 3 complaints over the last few weeks. This one currently being addressed still is some property maintenance issues that are going on in town. Nothing too alarming, just normal things I think you see at the beginning of spring. A homeowner complaining about a neighbor fixing his car, which is now disabled, on his parking, on his driveway, and this has also been addressed. One noise complaint from a homeowner who lives across the street from our industrial area in town, complaining about the trucks in the industrial area. So all these things being addressed in due time or already. That's it on the report. Greg, I just wanted to ask one question. Last meeting, I believe we were talking about Richfield Avenue, some of the flooding that happens there when we have those intense storms, and it was identified that the parkway drainage was possibly one of the reasons. Are you having trouble getting in touch with the DOT? Are they responsive? The homeowners have been asking, so I did say I'd follow up.
I was out of the office these last 3 days, but I made contact with someone who works for the parkway down south. He's a friend of mine. He steered me in the right direction. I'll be stopping at someone's office either tomorrow or Friday and talking to the office that handles this region. And I'll report back to you on that as well, and the rest of the council, as I make headway.
I received several emails regarding this issue as well, and I forwarded them to the borough engineer, although he's not here, so I can't ask him, and I know he's recently had surgery. And they're questioning why the responsibility of the drainage on the street is falling on a private property owner, and that the borough does not have proper drainage installed. So I asked the borough engineer to look at this and see if there was some other solution, you know, instead of in 5 years from now or 2 years from now, us tracking down the parkway and these other private property owners to take care of this drainage ditch. So when Tony's feeling better, I'll speak about it in depth with him, but it is something to talk about, you know, and I'm not really sure, you know, when this road was put in. It was obviously a long time ago, but I don't know why the proper drainage wasn't put there in the first place, but I think the storms are just getting more severe and flooding is just becoming a problem everywhere, and so I think it's just something we should at least explore what we can do to help that problem over there.
I walked Richfield and the Ridge area with Christian from Harbor Consultants. You looked over the survey maps. It's a very odd setup. For some reason, the road that we maintain, that we legally own as a borough, stops on the zoning maps 25 feet from the ditch that belongs to the commercial residents off of Market Street. But the blacktop is paved all the way up to the ditch. So we're paving past our borderline. The other thing is the way the road is built is the first 3/4 of the road pitches towards the county road, and then the last of it pitches towards the ditch. And there are no catch basins on that road at all. I think when it was first installed, like you said, however many years ago, they relied on gravity just to pull it out of the street and throw it onto the county road. Christian says we have enough hedge if we wanted to put a basin at the end of that road and run it down there, but that road was recently just paved, and I don't know if you guys have a moratorium on paved roads. Like, I know sometimes a moratorium where you're not allowed to dig it up after so many years of it being paved. If you do, then the contractor has to, like, repave the whole thing for his work site. I don't know, I have to find out, or ask you guys to find out, but
Okay.
that's one solution. It would be costly, probably like a weeks-long project, but that's the only way to get it done, is put it in front of that guy's house, the last two houses on both sides, and have them run down both sides of the road until you get to Michigan Ave. Because everybody from that crown toward Michigan Ave don't have an issue.
Okay.
It's the last two houses on each side.
It's the last four.
That's the last four?
Yes.
All right, so it's the last four, I'm sorry. But it's from that crown back to the commercial property. I think that if we if Garden State Parkway alleviates their issues, it won't eliminate the flooding issues, but it will lessen the impact. It won't be as drastic.
Okay.
I think Christian was right, we do need to put something in there.
Right, some type of
But it's
drainage.
not just Richfield. It's Richfield, it's Summit, it's all those roads that back up into that area.
Okay.
All the ones that don't have drainage. So, Wood Lawn is another one that a resident complained about. They have no drainage ditches on their road, no catch basins. That's another one that we have to pipe out to, I think, Fairfield, I'm not, I'll get the street mixed up, but I know Wood Lawn is the one issue that a resident called us out on. So that's another one that needs storm basins and underground piping, carrying it out to the main road.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's great. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Recreation and Fire, Councilman Scarice.
Thank you, Mayor. For the rec department, basketball has ended, and it was a huge success. As a reminder, the town-wide Easter egg hunt is coming Sunday, March 24th, starting at 10 a.m. Registrations are currently open and are required. The rain date for the hunt will be on Saturday, March 30th at 10 a.m. The hunt will be held at DeMario Park. This event is for residents only. The age range is from toddlers, walking age to 4th grade. There are currently 282 children registered. Middle school baseball practices have begun, and games will start in April. Middle school track and field has 26 kids registered. Practices have begun already, and meets will begin in April. Summer camp registrations are open exclusively to Kenilworth residents and Kenilworth School student only until April 15th. Starting April 16th, camp registrations will open to the general public. You can register through Community Pass. There are 47 kids registered so far. Information regarding the camp has been sent out. And that's all I have to report.
Thank you, Councilman. Education, Health, and Human Services, Councilwoman Giordano Paterno.
Thank you, Mayor. Last week was our library meeting on Thursday, and they have a plethora of events going from the rest of March all through April, really ramping up. They were talking about a lot of different events and activities for the children, especially during the summer. And what she did ask again is please call and register your children, because there are limited spaces, and if they had to maybe add another event or another time to accommodate everyone that would like to attend, they could do that. But it really is important for the children's programs that you call the library and register your children. And the adult programs are still going. They're 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then they have a couple during weekday nights. But there are so many on many days, and the best bet is to go on the library website or call or stop in, and they have leaflets with all the information. The Board of Health meeting will be tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, and they didn't have anything in particular to report up to now. The Board of Education meeting was March 11th, and I addressed with the board to ask the contractors to reach out to the residents along Monroe and 14th Street, that a couple of people were having issues with the heavy machinery and the trucks and whatever coming in and out. And I suggested to them that it would be a good idea for the contractors to either prepare a leaflet or something for those residents, that if they had questions about something, they had the right person to go to, so their calls aren't coming into Borough Hall, and we really don't have the answers to give them. But I will say the job site is being kept pristine, the streets look great, everything is parked and cleaned as best as they can, but I understand their concern, but it's the nature of the beast. Like, you know, Billy said, if you live next to a construction site, you are going to have some disruption. But it's going according to schedule, so hopefully it will complete in the time that it was recommended. Social concerns, I want to thank Angela for posting on the website when the days and times to drop off the food at St. Teresa's. It's really very helpful. There are so many different time frames, so thank you for putting it up there. And the senior center, Greg and Shirley and I met last week and just walked the whole building inside and out, a couple of little repairs that are necessary, a little bit of wear and tear, and Greg's right there, of course, going to power wash and spruce up painting the front doors and some other things that could be done. And Shirley was interested in purchasing some lightweight folding tables like you typically could get at Home Depot, because every time they have events, she has to call Greg and he has to send the staff over to open, and they have to come back to close them, where she had some more lightweight things. She knows she can manipulate them herself, and she has her budget, so she's maintaining whatever she has to do within her budget. But Greg is really very helpful with everything she wants to do. She has great ideas there to spruce up the building a little bit. And I just want to remind everybody, tomorrow is Soup's On at the Senior Center, 6 to 8. It's only $12 a ticket. I don't know if there's any left. I think there are some. But this is all soup that comes from restaurants. It's not homemade, so it should be really fantastic. And last year, I believe, they sold out, and there were people like waiting at the door to get in. So, yeah, that'll be a great night tomorrow, 6 to 8 at the Senior Center, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Mayor, now that the video is here, can I get my report, or, because I was gonna wait until...
Would you like to read your report again?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, no, I didn't have, I just said I'll wait until...
Okay.
All right, the 2024
Finance
budget
report, Councilman Finistrola.
is going to be introduced tonight. All areas of the budget were looked at for possible cuts and new revenues to the budget, which is constantly being explored to find out every little bit of monies we can gain. While the increase for both the municipal and library is higher, but this year's increase is 5.5% compared to last year's 9.7%. Budget increase, three main contributors for the increase were group insurance, debt service, and the Rahway Valley Sewer Authority. These three increases, which we have very little control over, equaled $830,000. All other budget increases to this year's budget amounted to $230,000. So as you can see, it was a hard budget again this year due to these three large increases mentioned. We also had a few budget decreases which helped offset the budget increase. The police and public pension bills decreased, and the insurance for the joint insurance fund known as the JIF also decreased. Solid waste decreased by $50,000, which is pretty good, but unfortunately, the spring bulk pickup will be eliminated, and we will be having the fall pickup. From the revenue side, we were able to use $103,000, almost $104,000 in municipal relief fund to help lower the effects of the budget increase. But in summary, the increased revenue usage, the municipal budget increased $722,000, and the library increased $108,000, for a total increase of $830,855. The comparison to 2023 was $1.3 million, so it worked out better than last year. So total increase per average house in 2024, which includes the library, will be $302.63. And of this amount, $107 is due to the lost valuation of the old Merck property. So the library yearly budget is set by state statute and based on percentage of equalized value, so there's nothing that can be done about that. That's all I have to say, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. Borough Engineer is not here. Borough CFO.
I distributed to council a little bit more of a breakdown of the budget increases, decreases. As Councilman Finestrella said, the main increases were those three areas with the insurance debt, Rahway Valley. We had a few nice decreases. The municipal relief fund was nice to bring in. It's better than last year, but I wish there was better news to tell.
Right.
It's hard to, without cutting services to the town, it's hard to control when you have three big areas of
Right.
increase. So if anybody has any questions on the two sheets that I gave out.
Jill, I have one. The three big increases with the Rahway Valley coming in at $77,000, that's actually the fourth big increase, it's the library. And I think Mr. Fitzgerald was saying that's statute driven, so there's a...
They call it 1/3 of a mill based on the equalized value.
So that's why our percentage went up from 8 to 10, from 23 to 24, if I'm reading this correctly on the second sheet. We were .088 as the factor, and then it was .105.
For the library, you're talking about.
Yeah, so the law didn't change at the state level, our valuations changed at the town level?
Well, like I said, they base it off of the equalized value, and I know the Board of Ed is concerned with that the equalized value is going up as much too, because they're getting hit with a cut in their state aid. And how he explained it is, that it appears like the home values in Kenilworth, he was explaining to Ken and I last night, are going through the roof. So I mean, it's a good that everyone's home values are going up so much, but what the impact to the library is, because the home values are going up, the equalized value is going up as well. And then you apply that formula to the equalized, and that's it. That's the library's budget.
Interesting. I know this is not a school board meeting, but in your profession, you seem to know a lot about this. Is this going to do almost an equal impact to the school's budget, where either their ratio goes up or they get less aid because our value went up?
I thought I had read an article about the school budget.
I could
With
address that if you would
1.6
like.
million, they were cut.
Yeah.
So it was cut.
They
so
got
we
a
should
cut,
expect-
and that was part of the discussion, and the Finance Committee met this week to discuss how they're going to address it, because they absolutely don't come back to the borough to make up that deficit. So they did have a couple of other programs on the board that they were contemplating that now they have to rethink how they're going to work this through for the next year. So that will be on my next report, how whatever they have come up with to work through that I believe it was 1.4 or 5.
Interesting time. I guess where I was going with that is that the town people should expect.
There was a 300,000 increase for the choice kids, but the state aid loss was 1.6, so it comes out to 1.3.
Tough times.
Yeah.
It's
Tough times.
Yeah.
And the county, do we have any insight into?
County, it's interesting with the county. County is very tight-lipped about what's happening. So the last couple of years, they've had a flat budget. And then what they do is they equalize it and spread it out amongst the municipalities. So at any given time, it's hard to know like what your number, even with a flat budget, there's some towns that go, way up or way down. So it's really until they release that number, you really don't know. I think last year we did ask the county if ours was going up or down.
Yeah, they won't release the number until after they adopt their budget. That's their policy.
And I going back to the library, I thought they're like a year or two behind on that equalized value, so I don't know if that Merck loss of revenue is going to impact them or not at some point. Like if it's catching up to them, or if, the value of the homes is just going up so much, it's not going to matter quite as much. I mean, my initial thought was they're a year behind, like they may see something next year, but I can't say that for sure either, because you never know what the equalized value is going to be.
All right, and last question. Last year for 2023, what percentage did the municipality make up of the entire tax increase? And I mean, I'm just going to imagine large numbers. We're going to stay close to the same number if everybody's having troubles. But what was that percentage?
Versus the 5.5 and the...
No, the whole pie of the tax increase. What was the municipality's percentage?
What was that?
Probably about 33%. Of the whole, he's talking the whole.
The whole pie.
The whole
I'm
pie.
sorry, I misunderstood. Yeah, maybe about a third of it.
Okay, so we may be representing with this number, again, another third of whatever the tax increase may wind up being.
Typically,
I'm pontificating here, and I don't want to put you on the spot.
No,
Agreeing with you.
I'm sorry, I just didn't understand what you were asking.
That's okay.
Usually, like the Board of Ed, you know, it's, the Board of Ed is the biggest piece. And then I believe in this town, the municipal is a bigger percentage than the county.
Yeah, okay.
You know? Yeah, I believe
All right.
that's the breakdown.
All right, well, thank you, Joe. Thanks, Dan.
Okay.
I have a question regarding the school funding. Is the Board of Ed investigating this, like, as to how they came up with this number? And also, maybe is there a way to appeal the decision?
I've been
Because it
reaching out.
obviously really hurts Kenilworth.
Yep, I've been
more than
reaching
like
out to
Elizabeth
our
or Norfolk,
senators.
but nothing.
I've been
Well,
trying.
It does, but it doesn't, because there are programs that they will have to eliminate that maybe that 1.3 or 4 would have funded. So it's not that they could come back and say, hey, Borough, you have to pick up the difference. They're going to have to tighten their belt like every other department in
Right.
Kenilworth is doing.
Right.
My understanding is that not all school board districts were cut.
Not all, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So how do they pick us? They pick
Well, they,
names out of a hat? I mean, or-
It went for, so this is what I got from the state of New Jersey. Allegedly, our property values went up 75% from 2019 to fiscal year 2025. They bring it to there. Our income per household went up 29%. Our underserved percentage of children in the school district declined from 23% to 19%, and our enrollment declined by 1%. Now, I asked, followed up on this report asking what they use to determine these numbers, because I don't believe that our income went up 29% per household, and our property values went up 75%. So I'm still waiting to hear back from, and get that information, and when I do, I'll share it with you. And I've also been in contact with our senator, asking for help as well.
Okay, great.
So, yeah, of course.
I would disagree with some of those numbers.
I think we all might disagree. So that's why I asked, where they, what report they used to come up with these numbers, because I certainly would like to see it, I'm sure everyone would.
I don't think too many households went up 75% in
I don't
value
think
in
so.
Kenilworth.
I don't think so.
Nah, there's no...
I agree that the value's gone up, but not quite
Not
that high.
75%.
Agree. And not 29% in income either, I don't believe. So, okay. Is that all for the CFO? Okay, Borough Attorney.
No report, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Borough Administrator.
I don't have anything. I'll just put out a shout out to remind everyone to do their training. I did get quite a few, so just a reminder. That's all. You got time, just a reminder.
Thank you. Okay, is there a motion to accept and approve borough reports?
Make that motion.
Second?
All in favor?
We have ordinance 2024-06 for introduction. It's the calendar year 2024 ordinance to establish a cap bank, NJSA 40A:4-45.14.
Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2024-06 for introduction?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Boyle?
Yes.
Councilman Finestrella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Giordano Paserno?
Yes.
Councilman Morrow?
Yes.
Councilman Scarice?
Yes.
Councilman Zimmerman?
Yes.
Be it hereby resolved that ordinance 2024-06 heretofore introduced is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance be further considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on April 17, 2024 at 6:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the Borough Council, and that at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the Borough Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage. the introduction of the 2024 municipal budget, Resolution 2024-106, approval of the 2024 municipal budget for introduction, and establishing April 17, 2024 as date of public hearing and final adoption.
Is there a motion to approve the 2024 proposed municipal budget for introduction?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Boyle? Yes. Councilman Finestrella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Giordano Paserno?
Yes.
Councilman Morrow?
Yes.
Councilman Scarice?
Yes.
Councilman Zimmerman?
Yes.
Next for council consideration is the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Sorry, I didn't, who's, yeah,
Tony?
oh,
I think they all.
yeah, I know, sorry, thank you. The consent agenda consists of resolutions 2024-107 through 2024-109. These resolutions will be approved by one motion. All items will be recorded individually in full in the minutes. Councilman Boyle?
Yes.
Councilman Finestrella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Giordano Paserno?
Yes.
Councilman Morrow?
Yes.
Councilman Scarice?
Yes.
Councilman Zimmerman?
Yes.
We have ordinance 2024-05 for introduction, an ordinance amending Chapter 15, Departmental Structures, Section 15-2, Police Department, Table of Organization of the Borough of Kenilworth Municipal Code.
Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2024-05 for introduction?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Boyle?
Yes.
Councilman Finestrella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Giordano Paserno?
Yes.
Councilman Morrow?
Yes.
Councilman Scarice?
Yes.
Councilman Zimmerman?
Yes.
Be it hereby resolved that ordinance 2024-05, heretofore introduced, does now pass on first reading, and that the said ordinance be further considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on April 17, 2024, at 6:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the Borough Council, and that at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the Borough Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Okay, is there a motion to open the floor for the public?
Motion.
Second.
Does anyone have anything to say for the good and well-being of Kenilworth? Please come forward and state your name and address.
Can I speak on the issue on Richfield Ave?
Come right up, of course.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good
My name is
afternoon.
Paul. I lived in Kenilworth for 21 years.
What is your name again? I'm sorry?
Paul George,
Paul George.
J-O-R-G-E.
Okay. I thought you just said Paul. And your address, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I've been the one annoying you with all this.
I know all those emails. I know.
I'm glad to hear you're actually trying to...
Can we just get your address, please, sir?
727 Richfield Ave.
Thank you. Okay.
And I met with Gregory. But the last 25 feet of that street actually belongs to me. So if you need a copy of the survey, if you need to install a catch basin on it, I will give the town permission to install drainage on my property. So if you need me
The
to
last
sign
25 feet of that street
Richfield Ave, I
are,
can give you the survey to whoever needs it.
and is it split between you and your neighbor across the street? I would like to see that.
And if you see the red right here, in front of my driveway.
You're 1601.
Yep, 1601, that is Richard Holler on the other side.
Now, does he own part of the
He
street
owns
too?
the other half.
Oh, how interesting.
That's what I was referring to there when I said we paved up to the road, coming up to the ditch.
But we weren't
That's what I was
supposed
referring
to.
to,
I see,
25 feet.
okay.
So,
If you need permission to install any type of drainage to fix the solution, I'm willing to give the town permission. But I don't see why I have to pump out water when it's not my street. And none of the other houses have to do anything besides me. Every time we have a rainstorm, I don't believe that's my responsibility, nor the other private property owners.
It's really interesting how they own the street, they own the street.
I've sent the mayor videos, also to Gregory. You also have pictures of me running pump hoses down the street. I don't believe that's my responsibility. So, please keep me updated.
absolutely.
And I'll try to stop annoying you with the emails.
That's okay. You can email me as much as you want. I read every one, and I
Thank you
send
very
them
much
to
for your
the
time.
appropriate departments. Thank you. Anyone else?
Do you want this?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close the
Just
floor.
real quick, can I just weigh in, Mayor?
Oh, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to close the public session first, please. Okay, I'd like a motion to close the floor for public discussion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, does anyone else have anything to say for the good and welfare of the borough?
Yeah, just two things. The first one, I received a note here from Carol Pappas in reference, I guess, to her brother who lives in Florida to participate in the street fair. So I'm going to pass that on to Angela.
Oh, yeah.
Since you've been dealing with the company. And just so you know, I'm going to pass it on to the borough clerk, and she'll look into that for you, Carol. He grew up in Kenilworth, and she was telling me that, he's musically inclined and would like to participate, so.
Participate in playing music?
Yeah, up on the stage.
Yeah, I mean, he's great.
Yeah.
He's great.
We have a meeting, I should have mentioned, actually, we do have a meeting set with Sissy from the street fair, so.
JC Promotions?
Yes.
We want to get a rotary table too. I don't know if you can do that.
You have to go on you just go on their website and.
Yeah, they'll give it to you if you're in town for, with
Right.
no cost. All right, and the question, I guess, to make sure is, are we going to get a stage this year or not? I know in the past, sometimes we have a stage, sometimes we don't.
The county.
The
gives
county
us
usually
stage. I know
provides
the
it.
park
Last
goes
year-
to park, too.
Went through Union, we were ready to book for a stage.
All right, good.
Right.
Same exact stage the county uses, but we got it from Union.
Okay, I remember last year the county had it booked, so we couldn't use the county the last couple of
It's booked
times.
again, so, but we do have the Union stages, the exact same one.
All right.
Great.
Great, no, thank you. And last but not least, I just wanted to defer to the borough attorney. He had asked me a question, and I know the mayor and I have worked with Rich Paserno, the planning board chairman, in reference to the Onyx property, and he had a question that he just wanted to bring to our attention and make sure that we're all on the same page, so I'm going to defer to you.
Council President, I don't think the advice that I feel I would like to provide to the governing body is something for public session.
Okay, all right.
So it would have to be provided in an executive session.
Okay. All right, I just wasn't sure, so, okay.
No problem.
I just want to add that this coming up Sunday is Palm Sunday, and hope everyone has a happy and blessed Palm Sunday, and the Sunday after that is Easter, and hopefully I wish everyone a happy Easter, and see you all next month.
Mayor, may I make a suggestion? If the council wanted to hear what my advice was, or at least what my opinion is, I think is probably more appropriate. We could have a motion to add an executive session to this meeting.
Okay.
And you could also, it would be a motion to amend the agenda to include an executive session, and then a
Okay.
subsequent motion to go into executive session and adjourn the meeting without opening it again.
Angela, did we have it on there already?
Yeah, it's on there already.
I have a general one on there, placeholder, in case we have it, so I don't know that you still need to amend the agenda. I don't have a reason, it's, I
Okay,
just
well, if you don't have a
usually...
reason,
Yeah.
it's on the agenda, I
Yeah.
guess it would just be a motion going to
To go
closed
in.
session
Okay.
Yeah.
to discuss redevelopment.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'd like a motion to...
I'm sorry, before we do, I just wanted to echo what Councilman Scurry said about the basketball program. I see Kristen here and Pat. Joe Pratcher too, who's not here, but what a great season. The kids love it. If you didn't go to the games, you should. They're just fun to watch. I mean, it's 25-12 at final score, and it's the most part you'll see in 37 points ever. So congrats, guys. It was another great season.
Thank you.
And I think we could probably find it in the budget to replace the battery to the clock.
I don't know, Joe. You haven't done the final adoption yet, so
Right, can add it in. Okay. I'd like a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Sorry. Second, Savita.
Keep looking at the...